been just a few practices and such with Kane and Mcdavid and Brown together. Just maybe a thought on those skill sets and how they could potentially mesh. Why you'll want to see that look.
Well, Kane obviously power forward, goes hard to the blue paint, has a physical element to every game that he plays in, and also very underrated details in his game. I have nothing but the highest of opinion for Evander Kane. Obviously, run out of adjectives to describe Connor and his game and what he does, and but he plays at such a breakneck speed that you need to surround him with, I believe, with certain people of certain skill sets, Kane's being one of them. And then Connor Brown, this is his first game here in about 11 months. So, he's known as a dog on a bone worker bee that, goes and gets pucks for other people. But yeah, I think, at his best, he has some underrated offensive skill. He can make a play. And that his work ethic shouldn't be the only way we describe him. He's somebody that has good skills, and we're going to see if there's a chemistry in game action tonight and go from there.
Some of Evander Kane's most productive hockey as an Oiler was when he was healthy and playing with Mcdavid. So
yeah.
Healed up and ready to go. That has to be tempting to see what that goal scorer and that setup guy, setup guy can look like.
Yeah. And Evander, the injury he had last year was horrific. It was a horrific injury, and he's a quick healer. He came back. When he came back, he after a couple games he hurt his ribs, and so it wasn't a perfect year health-wise for him. And I think in the summertime, he was able to heal up. Feels a lot more like his normal self, and I thought he played excellent in that first exhibition game, and now we're going to see him alongside the best player in the world.
Jay, Sidney Crosby the other day said that he thought Connor could get 170 points this year, and there's no ceiling on him. I just wanted a thought on that, and then just what did you think about it?
Well, that's pretty good opinion to get from someone very special in Sidney Crosby. But for me, I'm not worried about how many points someone's going to get. I'm worried about taking care of our day, so that we can improve as a team and weave our way through training camp here. I've come to learn that putting a limit on Connor McDavid's potential is probably not a good thing. So I'm not going to spitball or guesstimate how many points he's going to get. I know that the one thing he is concerned with is making sure his team gets 2 points every night.
Power play, obviously everybody knows how strong it is. What's a realistic expectation when you're coming off a season like that? Is it re-racket those numbers again, or what makes the coach happy?
Well, coach is happy when special teams create momentum for the team. Again, that goes almost to DVD's question of what's the percent. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what it will be. I know that we can ice some pretty talented people there. One thing that doesn't get talked about with the power play over the years is the amount of work that these people put in order to perform at the level that they perform at and convert at the level that they convert at. Everyone always goes to that kind of highlight reel play or the skill level that's on the ice. Not enough people talk about the work that goes into it, and that's a credit to the five players that are out there. And they'll get a chance tonight because they'll all be in the lineup.
Jay, there's a lot of players who feel you shouldn't be able to ice the puck on a penalty kill. You can't ice it 5-on-5 as a coach. How do you look at that? You've got a great power play, so you get the face off back at the other team's end.
That's an interesting thought. I haven't given it much thought, so I'm going to defer to the fact that let me think about it and I'll get back to you on it. How about that?
Okay.
You have an article already written that you just want to quote, or what?
See how good you're doing on face-off.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You've got Leon wins most of the face-offs.
Yeah.
On
Yeah, obviously that's an advantage. I think that's a creative thing. I just haven't given it a ton of thought.
I just wonder if we asked, or maybe I did last week about some of the injured guys, and Ryan McLeod, is he getting close?
Yeah, he's had some good days here. You know, sometimes there's rehab skates that not everyone's privy to being in the building for and stuff like that. He's getting close. We hope that he'll join the team here soon. But, you know, I think during training camp you have time. That's why we're being, you know, we're taking our time with those things.
What do you think? What have you seen, and what do you want to see from those two centers? I'm talking Peterson and Sutter down at the bottom of the lineup to try to kind of earn one of those jobs.
Well, they're both different. Sutter obviously has experience of being a top 9 player in the league for a long time, but it is coming off a situation where he's missed some time because of illness. And for him, he's just trying to get himself back up and running. A few years ago, he's the perfect fit for the position that we require. But for him, he's just trying to reestablish himself, feel good again, have the ability to recover after a hard game, and then wake up and practice the next day and all that type of stuff. So he's in a good spot. He's feeling healthy. For Lane Peterson, different type of situation in that he's in his mid-20s. He's been through some other organizations. He's had opportunities that, for whatever reason, haven't ended up in long-term employment with those organizations. I think for him, he's trying to establish himself as an everyday hockey player in the National Hockey League. What I see in his skill set is someone who can shoot the puck really well, but is going to have to learn how to find his way for the role that's required here. And the role that's required right now is somebody in that 4-hole that can contribute on a penalty kill, that can play the game hard, that you feel good with that line being on the ice against anybody in the National Hockey League. We'll see what happens here, how it shakes out in the last 10 days of camp or so.
Will you try Derek Ryan during preseason, give him some looks at center?
Yeah, we might. I think, you know, as some other players are knocking on the door, the Raphael Lavois, the Adam Ernie's, those type of guys are knocking on the door. That means that you might try other people in that position as well. We want to make sure that when the time comes when we have to make a decision, that we're making the most informed decision possible. As I said earlier, Ken, his group, myself, and the coaching staff, we're trying to ice the top 12 forwards that we can. We're trying to make the best decision, and that's why every day in camp is so important. We spend a lot of time on looking at our game and evaluating individuals, especially the individuals that are really working to solidify that position. So, you know, tonight's another test. Vancouver Canucks are coming in. It's an opportunity for the people that are going to be in the lineup to make a continued impression. We'll see how it shakes out.
Plan on being a primarily 12-6 unit this year?
I think part of what makes the Edmonton Oilers who they are is the ability to be flexible, to have the versatility in the lineup. And you know, we were talking about this the other day with the way the cap is, and we're up against the cap. You know, most likely we're carrying 12 forwards, but we have 7 really good defensemen as well. So there might be times where we dress 7. It's also an accountability thing for the coaching staff, that if you know, if they feel like, or we feel we're best suited to win a game at 11-7, that's what we're going to do.
Jay, you had Nima Linen's played the last 2 years with Harvard. So did Desharnais' arrival just push him down a little bit because they're both aggressive players? Or how do you see it?
Last year?
Yes.
Last year. I thought for Desharnais, he came in and the team started to play well. I don't know if it's, you know, it could be a chicken and the egg situation. I don't know if all I know is the team record was quite good with him in the lineup, and I thought he commanded more ice time as the season went along. When there were games when we chose to go 12-6, some games he was the guy that was in that 6th spot for us. When we were 11-7, obviously Philip played as well. I think both of them are quality assets for our organization. They both represent different attributes, and I think when you go into a game and you're trying to figure out, okay, who are we going to put on the penalty kill, who are we going to put on the power play, how many minutes do we expect out of certain people, it shook out the way it shook out. But I think they're in a battle here right now to be in the lineup. If we choose, going back to Ryan's question, if we choose to go to 6 defensemen, they're in a battle. They're in a battle to see who's that's going to be. We expect Matthias Ekholm to get back with the main group here in the coming days. We'll see how it shakes out.